You're listening to another episode of the Just Go Bike podcast, powered by RAGBRAI. This is the award-winning podcast where we are all about the culture of cycling, just for the fun of it. Your hosts are Murph from the Murphology podcast and AP from Parrot Talk. With tales from all over the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile. And now here is Murph.
Hey, that's me.
And AP.
Hey, that's me. Well, hello, Murph.
Well, hello, AP, and welcome to another edition of the Just Go Bike podcast.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. How has it been lately?
It has been amazing. I love all of our Zwift group rides that we've been doing. It's kind of fun to chat with other riders from really across the entire United States and talk about getting ready for RAGBRAI and RAGBRAI stories.
Yeah, it's been so fun to get to know people who are either have done RAGBRAI or Zwifted with us before, and to see some new faces, or virtually see some new faces in the group. And I really feel like our RAGBRAI training is kicked off. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of RAGBRAI, have you ever been part of a bicycle club?
You know I have. When I was a kid, we always rode with the bicyclists of Iowa City, and in fact, my family still rides with them today.
Oh, wow. Well, and I was part of a RAGBRAI team for a very long time, but I also here in my own community have a bicycle club. It's got like 500 members in it, although not all 500 people meet up and ride, but it's definitely like being part of a club or a team. It makes for a much more social group in addition to riding bikes, don't you think?
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about bicycle clubs is that they're really a lot more than biking.
Yeah, and then a kind of a connection to that is RAGBRAI Charters, which are kind of like clubs or teams. You know, it's kind of an umbrella where another entity kind of takes you under their wing and helps you along. And I think that's why RAGBRAI Charters are so successful, because you can go to RAGBRAI by yourself and end the week with dozens, maybe even more, new friends.
Ooh, yeah. It's really kind of a structured way to gain new friends. And I would say that's one of the benefits of joining a charter, especially if you're a newbie. But of course, on RAGBRAI, you can make friends just about anywhere. I mean, in the Kaibo line, the porta potty line, the food line, sitting on a picnic table. I mean, just let me count the ways.
Wait, can you count the ways?
No, it's 1 million.
Unlimited. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So today we have my interview with the new RAGBRAI coordinator for the Quad Cities Bicycle Club Charter, which is one of many, many charters that are part of RAGBRAI.
And they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, they claim that they have been part of every single RAGBRAI. I don't know how to find out if that's true or not, but that's what they claim.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and believe him because I wasn't alive.
You're right.
So, yeah. So, of course, if you do ride RAGBRAI, you don't have to be part of a charter. But if you want to have, say, an elevated experience, the charters are there for you. And they do all sorts of things. It's a wide range of options that you can have with the charters that RAGBRAI recommends, including extra baggage service, tent setup, even meals sometimes, or special showers. All sorts of different things.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how elevated you want it to be and how much money you want to spend beyond your RAGBRAI registration.
That's right. So if you want to learn more about the charters, you're not sure which one you might be interested in, you can check out our charter section on the RAGBRAI website. It's just ragbrai.com/charters, or there's a little button on our menu. And again, it's completely optional if you want to ride with a charter, but it can be it can really enhance your RAGBRAI experience, especially if you need some of those services that they offer.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, our charter spotlight today is the Quad City Bicycle Club Charter, and I interviewed the new RAGBRAI coordinator. His name is Roger Killion, which, by the way, they are already accepting riders. So if you are looking to get signed up with the charter, you need to check them out.
Yeah, they're really an excellent charter. Highly recommend them. Their website is QCBC.org. So Quad City Bicycle Clubs is the acronym. And they have a tab called Events to get more info.
Okay. Well, here is Roger to give us his take on the Quad Cities Bike Club and their charter. welcome to Roger Killion. Hi, Roger.
Hi, Murph. Thanks for having me on your podcast today.
You bet. This is going to be a fun episode. It's I always enjoy doing spotlights on anything RAGBRAI related, and AP and I already talked about this, but you are the RAGBRAI coordinator for the Quad City Bicycle Club Charter. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
And I recall talking about the Quad City Bicycle Club in the past, and your club has been around almost as long as RAGBRAI, maybe as long as RAGBRAI.
Longer.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay, so this is going to be really
a brief history. Cycling in our area, we call it the QCA or the Quad City area, started in about 1898 with many racing clubs. And it wasn't until 1963 that we organized actually what's now called QCBC, and it was chartered in 1964.
Wow. That's amazing, especially that history is documented.
It is.
Wow. Okay, so there might be people out there listening that don't know where the Quad Cities are located. So will you tell us kind of the area where you live? And I already know that it's a great cycling culture, but give us a little feedback on that.
Okay. Yeah, I live in the Quad City area, which is a metropolitan area of about 384,000 people, which a lot of people don't realize because they always look at just the Iowa side or just the Illinois side. But we are right on the border where Interstate 80 crosses from Iowa to Illinois. And actually, with our area, our population within 100 miles is like 2,670,000. And that's what they figure that people will travel. Like when we built our event center, that's what they looked at for where people would travel for events. And Des Moines, I think, only has like a 1.5 million, and Omaha's only 2 million. So we're actually one of the larger areas that people will travel to for events.
I know I traveled there. I'm about maybe an hour and 15 minutes away, but I traveled there to see Neil Diamond in concert.
Oh, yeah.
So.
He was the first act at our event center.
Really?
Yes. And then as far as the Quad City Bicycle Clubs goes, we have many avid cyclists in the Quad Cities, and we have great cycling roads. That's what I think why it's so popular. Our cities are creating more and more bike lanes, and currently they're doing underpasses under busy roads, which increase our safety. We have a Duck Creek bike path in Iowa, which is about 16 miles. And on the Illinois side, we have the Great River cycling path that stretches at 65 miles. So it's really good. And besides the QCBC and road cycling, we have a group called FORC, F-O-R-C, which is Friends of Off-Road Cycling. And we have what they call East Moline Track BMX Speedway. So we have a lot of BMX racing in the Quad Cities.
Oh, wow. And not to mention, you have the mighty Mississippi River of splitting the two, the two states. And we all know as RAGBRAI riders that seeing the mighty Mississippi is a big deal because that's
it is to a lot of people.
End of RAGBRAI for the year.
It is. I kind of take exception. We said it divides the Quad Cities. It actually joins the Quad Cities because we've always looked at there was a division between the two. So we like to think of the Mississippi joins our two metropolitan areas.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yep. Well, let's get in specifically to the Quad Cities Bicycle Club, which will segue into our charter. And you gave us a little bit of history on the club. I don't know if you have any more to share, but also what's the reason that club and charter exist?
Yeah, it's our mission in the Quad City Bicycle Club to promote, encourage, and support the safe participation in bicycle riding of all ages and abilities, as well as to anticipate and address the needs and interests of our aspects of bicycling in the Quad Cities. So I read that because I don't know I could recite that from memory. And this year, I think I talked to our person that keeps track of our club rides. We had about 175 club rides this year, which is in addition to our other events. And we do have other events in the Quad Cities besides just the rides. Our group rides average from less than 10 miles an hour to over 20 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
And currently we have about 550 active members in our club. Our charter last year was about 100 people. Not all 550 ride RAGBRAI, of course, although we wish they would. And in the years when the ride ends in the Quad Cities, our ridership goes up significantly. It's very handy for everybody. At the 50th RAGBRAI, I think we had close to 300 people, which we decided was too large. Our logistics and that can't handle that group. So we've capped registration this year for our group to be at 200.
Okay. The bicycle club is different from the charter, right?
We're actually part of the same.
Okay.
The charter was actually started just to help people on our club, and then we had so many people come in. I think last year we had people from 19 different states, and ranging in age from 14, I think, was the youngest, to 84, 85 was the oldest.
Mm-hmm. So the Quad City Bicycle Club, one of the things you said were club rides. Will you
Yes.
give us an example of what a club ride is? Is that like a weekly event or a large event, or what is a club ride?
We have both. We have some that are standing club rides. We have a group called the Divas, which is our ladies group. And they go every Tuesday night, I think it is. They never invite me to go, so I'd have to check to see what night it is. And then we have a Friday morning breakfast ride. But then there's a lot of other rides that people just set up. I think I led 15, 20 rides last year. And mine out where I live, I'm a D rider, we call it. So I average 13 to 15 for my group. And I think our longest ride we did was 75 miles, and probably the shortest was 40 miles maybe.
Oh, wow.
And there's many other people. The top group, they go out and they ride pace lines, and they average 20 plus miles an hour. And then we have the less than 10 mile an hour, which is just tooling along, enjoying the day.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like if I would want to join the Quad City Bicycle Club and become a member, it doesn't matter what my ability is. You kind of accommodate for everyone.
Yep. Your age, your ability, what sex you are, it really doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. In my group, we have mixed people in the B group. I'm not sure about the A group. I'm not a fast enough rider to keep up with them.
Right. And okay, so I think we've established that pretty much anyone can be on or in the club. Do you have any rules that go along with it?
No, not really. Like I said, we have to wear helmets, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say that. I just assume everybody wants to wear a helmet, but we do require for our club rides that you have to wear a helmet, and that's pretty much the only we have. We allow e-bikes, everything else. I can't think of anything that we exclude for. Wow,
that's awesome, especially if you are the type of person that either trains better when you're with a group or just wants to meet people. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we do training rides. We might do it for all of our different events. Besides RAGBRAI, we host several other events. We have a Quad Cities Criterium, which we've done for 58 years, I think it is. And Tom Robb, of course, I think we talked about Tom Robb at one time.
Yeah.
Tour of the Mississippi River Valley, but that was actually a ride set up to train for RAGBRAI. Heartland Century ride in this, where we have 4 25-mile loops that all end up conveniently back at a pub. So you ride 25 miles, you're back at a pub. You ride 25-mile loop, you're back at a pub. So it's kind of nice. It's a very interesting, very popular ride.
Yeah.
And we have fall 100-mile tailwind rides, where we get a trailer and haul people out 100 miles into the wind, and you come back 100 miles with the wind at your back. So it's really quite nice.
Well, now you're talking.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
It is. It is. Some people consider it a race, but most of us consider it a ride. So you're not, you shouldn't feel that you can't do it because you're not fast enough, because it has nothing. It's just like RAGBRAI. It's not a race, it's a ride.
Right, right.
We also do bikes for tykes, which this year I think we came up with 150 bikes for that we donate to Toys for Tots, and they distribute them.
Oh.
And along with the bike, we give a helmet, a bicycle pump, and a bike lock. So it's kind of a kit for people that can't afford biking.
And hopefully those young riders become adult riders.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Safe adult riders.
Yes, safe adult riders, yes.
Yes.
Well, I want to segue into the actual charter, but before we do that, if, let's say I live near the Quad Cities and I want to be part of this club, or I just want to find out about your different events and rides and group rides, do you have a website, or is there a place I can go?
Yeah. www.qcbc.org.
Easy enough.
And that page has got all of our events, all of our rides. There's a calendar on there. So if you say, well, I was coming to the Quad City for this week or on this day, you can pull up our calendar and see if there's a ride going on.
Okay. That's cool. And I've spoke about this before, but Tomrov is definitely on my bike-it list. It just usually I have another event that happens that same weekend, and I've never made it happen. But
you need to get your priorities straight.
You're right. You are right.
It is quite the ride. It's. Are you familiar with it at all?
Yeah, it's a It looks like a challenging ride. And
it is.
Yeah.
Yep. We go up the Illinois. We go up partially through Iowa, then into Illinois, up through Galena into Wisconsin, and then just spend the night at a college and have a dinner and bar and everything else in Dubuque, Iowa, and then we come back on the Iowa side. So it's like 110 miles the first day, and I think it's like 80-some usually the second day.
Whew.
But usually it's 80 miles into a headwind.
Oh, geez.
So
and it's not flat.
No, it's not flat. We go through Galena and through Chestnut Mountain ski area, and there's one hill called the Wall, which is it's a wall. That's what it is, and you ride your bike up it. So it's very interesting.
Whenever there are hills that have names on them, you got to be a little bit intimidated.
Yeah, Chestnut Mountain, the Wall. Yeah, those are intimidating names.
Okay, so you can find out more about Tomrov at qcbc.org.
Correct.
And then, okay, let's segue into maybe I am going to fly into the Quad City area, Davenport, and I want to do RAGBRAI with a charter. And so, Roger, I know you're going to say, well, you should do it with our charter. So let's talk a little bit about your charter and, maybe the services you offer and who can be part of it.
Sure. Well, first of all, we're the only charter to have served every RAGBRAI.
Wow.
So, yes, RAGBRAI isn't just the miles, it's about the people.
For sure.
So by riding with the QCBC, you'll participate in training rides. We have right here in our own community that we talked about. We'll build strength and friendships before the event. We share the journey with fellow cyclists that know the roads, capture the spirit of Iowa cycling. We also figure in our charter, we offer the true RAGBRAI experience with some of the comforts. But a lot of them we've seen have evolved into their trailers, where you stay in a little apartment every night. We think part of RAGBRAI is the camaraderie of camping and sitting around and swapping stories of the day.
Yeah.
So, and we also have a thing coming up here in February called RAGBRAI for Rookies. So the first year I went, I don't think my wife would have let me go. My wife's not a bicycle rider, and I don't think she'd let me go on if we hadn't gone to RAGBRAI for Rookies. and they figured out what actually I was going to be doing. When she saw so many old people there, she figured I wouldn't die on it, so it was okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
as you said, anyone can join RAGBRAI, but you do have to register for RAGBRAI, and we have very few rules for the charter. You have to be a registered RAGBRAI rider. We don't allow any bandits. We don't allow any personal vehicles or campers in our camp. By campers, I mean physical campers or trailers or something like that. You must wear your wristband throughout the week. It helps people know that you're part of the club if you're in the camp, so we don't have bandits coming into using our facilities. We allow up to 2 bags to 40 pounds. However, you're also allowed in ours to bring a cot and or a 5-gallon bucket in addition to your 2 bags. And in the 5-gallon bucket, you can put your sleeping bag, which leaves more room in your bags for your other things.
And keeps it dry.
It does.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the cot, I may not be riding RAGBRAI any longer. I was getting too old to sleep on the ground, even on an air mattress.
Yeah.
That cot is very nice. But our team normally averages about 50 years old. We have from 14 to 83-year-olds last year, about 80% male, 20% female. We're trying to get more females. We'd love to have more. We've had riders from 19 states last year. Believe it or not, most of our riders come from Illinois, and Iowa's the next most. And we even had, I think it was 5 from California, 5 from Florida, 7 from Indiana. So and then a whole bunch. I can name all the states, but we don't have time for that today. So
right.
And it makes a really diverse group. And the discussions that we have at night during the camp is great. You'd be sitting next to a truck driver, an attorney, a lawyer, an accountant, a salesperson, whatever. And it's just really you make friends. We do use Argo for, I think you've had podcasts with Jonathan before.
Yes, Jonathan with Argo, yes.
Yeah, that's who we use for our logistics. I'll say they provide the trucks, they haul our bikes out, they do our gear day to days, and they set up our campsites.
Mm-hmm.
So when you roll into our camp, there's already the canopies are up. There's cold drinks and snacks all ready for you when you come in. And he's even gone to a fact that he provides e-bike charging for $25 per week. We don't really include that in our charter as such, but he provides that because we've had more and more people that have kind of aged out, and without e-bikes, they couldn't do RAGBRAI. So.
I know I've seen it throughout the years when you're pulling into town. It could be intimidating especially for new riders, because there are thousands of people that are just camping everywhere. Yep. And I have seen where you have it almost roped off is probably not the right word, but there are signs that say Quad City Bike Charter or whatever, QCBC. Yes. So to me, I just found it by chance that once you know where your campsite is, I bet you it's pretty easy from that point on.
It is. Getting to the campsite, we thought it would be more challenging. RAGBRAI last year, I think was the first year, they didn't allow to have signs put up as you came into town on how to get to the various campgrounds, but that was just getting crazy. Every telephone pole, every street, people were spray painting on things. And so now we have a map beforehand that we know exactly where our campground will be. We do share a campground. Argo also does Riverbend Bicycle Club. Okay. So we share a campground with them. So there's actually two clubs that share the same campground and share the same logistics. So, but no, it's very, once you get in, everything is there. I mean, when I first started riding at RAGBRAI, parking your car was $100. Well, with our club, it's included. You park at the aisle in Bettendorf, and you can park all week. It doesn't cost anything above the cost of the charter. We have showers. We have air-conditioned showers that also have a sink vanity and a mirror and a flush toilet, which the ladies will love it. I said, I love my flush toilet. It's very nice to come in and be able to shower. A lot of the showers are not air-conditioned, and I think you come out as sweaty as you went in. Yeah. I shouldn't say it that way, but it's true. And then the showers were $5 to $10, I think. Because we provide ours, I'm not sure what the prices are now. Towels were an extra couple bucks. Drinks in camp were $2 each or something like that. And with us, the drinks, the snacks, the showers, all included. So you don't have to think about it.
Nice. And I guess, people out there who maybe have never done RAGBRAI, once you have a couple of RAGBRAIs under your belt, you'll understand the quality of having a flush toilet.
Oh, yes.
The Kaibos or whatever you want to call them, the porta potties, that gets to be
maybe stretching the true RAGBRAI feeling, but it's a nice way to stretch that. Not having to only have Kaibos to go for a week. It's nice to be able to use those.
Yes. Okay, I already know the answer to this, but I'm guessing somebody out there is thinking, this charter sounds cool. I want to go there. I will park at the Mississippi River. How the heck do I get myself, my luggage, and my bike to the other side of the state where then I'll bike back to my car?
Yep. Well, we've been doing this for over 50 years, so we've got it figured out. We actually have charter buses. So the Friday night prior to the Saturday that we leave to go to the other side of the state, you come with your bike. We request the handlebars be turned and the pedals be off so we can get more bikes in the trucks we use. And we load the bikes up. Then the next morning, we show up about 6 o'clock in the morning, I think 6:30, and we have charter buses. And depending on how many people on the charter, some years we've had, I think, 4 or more. And last year, I think we had 2. And we load up. You put your 2 bags, your cot, your bucket, whatever, underneath the bus in the luggage or storage area under the bus. And you have an air-conditioned luxury bus ride out to the other side of Iowa.
Nice.
And then Argo, Jonathan and his crew take care of moving our bags site to site every night. And then the last day, he provides taking our bikes back down to Bettendorf from the end city. If it's not the Quad Cities, if it's the Quad Cities, you're already home.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice there. But and then we have a charter bus also that brings people back if they want it. Some people, depending on where it's at, if it's very close to the Quad Cities, our charter, you can have the bus back or you don't have to have the bus back. And if you like, somebody can come get you. My wife came and got me one year at Muscatine, and she said, never again. She said, 20,000 bikes and cars and buses. She says, no. She says, you either ride your bike home or you take the bus home.
Yeah, you take the bus.
Yeah, it's been very, very nice for that. So.
Okay, so like a typical day when you're on RAGBRAI and you're part of your charter, we all know the kind of the camp setup you just spoke of. But for the most part, do people ride together, or do they kind of meet each other at camp at night? Or can you kind of give us an idea of what that's like?
Yeah, it's very hard to ride together as a group, I think, on RAGBRAI.
Yeah.
One person passes another. You get a slow group, you get a pace group going by. So we have people that come in our group that ride together, but not the whole 100 people. We've never tried riding them all together. And usually what happens is if you lose the person you have, you'll say, hey, whereas the sign says, welcome to the next town, if you haven't caught up with the person you're riding with, you just stop there and wait for them, watch for them and yell as they go by and regroup up. So most people just regroup at each town they come into.
And if you're new to RAGBRAI, which if you listen to this podcast, you should know everything about RAGBRAI, but it's almost impossible to not know where the route is. You'll always be able to follow the bikes in front of you. It's definitely easy to lose each other, but like you said, if you have a plan, like mine was always, meet at the first church you see or the first bar you see. I mean, that's it. If as long as you have a plan that you tell your whoever you're biking with, you'll be fine. Or
the first Kaibo you see.
First Kaibo, there you go. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm assuming that you probably have a good story or two, especially since this club has been around for as long as RAGBRAI. But any funny stories you want to share?
Well, the only one that comes to mind was kind of, I thought, explaining at RAGBRAI level. I was riding one year. I've ridden 7 complete RAGBRAIs. And I stopped for something to eat, and I'm sitting cross-legged on the ground, and there's this gentleman sitting there, and I said, hey, where are you from? He said, oh, I'm from China. And I said, well, that's really interesting. You go all the way to China. And I said, I got cousins that actually are anthropologists that go to China and study your ancient culture.
Ooh.
He said, Ruby and Woody? I said, yes. I said, how do you know my cousin? Well, he was studying at the University of Iowa, which is where my cousins were teaching. So it's just on RAGBRAI, you can meet anybody.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's a strange story, but
wow.
Yep, it's very interesting. I was trying to think. We mentioned RAGBRAI for rookies, but that's something I would encourage people to, if they're in the area or close by, to come. It's open to everybody. We have presentations by various people, and we set up a little camp. Go through what you need to bring. Drink before you're thirsty, eat before you're hungry. Kind of giving people what's going on and what to expect.
And so, Roger, now that you're the RAGBRAI coordinator for the charter, does your role change? Or do you still get to ride your bike, or are you now kind of keeping track of everything that happens throughout the week?
No, I'm riding. Jonathan really takes care of our campgrounds. We talked about having a dedicated campground. Jonathan is also the one that goes out to the towns and scouts out where they'll be, so we already know where our campgrounds are. Before RAGBRAI even starts. And he looks at the logistics because, of course, for our showers, we need water and sewer if we can get it. If not, he has a holding tank. But that's pretty much how it works.
So you get to do all the planning ahead of time and then enjoy the ride yourself.
Yeah. So if somebody comes into camp and has an issue or a problem, we had one gentleman last year. We have a gentleman that's hearing and speech impaired. And he's ridden, I don't know how many, probably 15, 20 RAGBRAIs, but his tent broke. And Jonathan even had a tent with.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow. And
so he would take care of any questions until I would get into camp. I also have a couple other of the people in our club that are on my committee that will be there. So if there's anything that has to do with the club, but most of the questions and problems that come up are with the logistics, the camping, water. Jonathan scopes out the area. He tells you where the events are. If you want to go to a dinner at night or downtown, where the bus stop is, or I shouldn't say bus stop, the transportation is to get to downtown without taking your bike. Yeah.
All of that is really good for especially first-time riders. That you now you know where to go to eat. Now you know where the shower is. being part of a charter is just kind of elevates the experience of RAGBRAI.
It is. And you mentioned once, and I kind of bypassed your question about if I'm flying in or coming in, but that's what we like about our charter in the Quad Cities. We're right on Interstate 80, we're right on Interstate 74, and we have an international airport. And we have 4 bicycle shops in the Quad Cities. So if you really want to send your bike ahead of time, they will actually take your bike. If you want, you can just go pick it up there or whatever for no charge, or they'll actually put your bike together and tune it up and deliver it down to us to put on the truck.
Wow.
So it makes it real convenient.
Wow.
And they'll also box it to send it back if you want them to, or however you want to work with them, but it makes it really convenient. So with our large area, it's very easy to get in and get out of.
Well, okay, so at this time, we're into January of 2026, and you can register for RAGBRAI. It's been open since mid-November, but we don't know the route yet. So there may be people out there that are going to wait until the route is announced before they choose to do RAGBRAI. At what point does your charter start accepting applications, or what's that process?
Our registrations are already open. We already have 15, 20 people that are all signed up and registered. Most of them take our top package, which includes everything. And if for some reason we kind of don't anticipate it this year because it came to Davenport, I think 3 years ago or so, and they like to share that out. But if it would come back to the Quad Cities and you bought the return bus trip, we'll actually refund the money. So you'd get that money back. Like they take you down to the next package. I think it's like $90 for the bus ride and bringing your bike back. So yeah, we have people. Our fiscal year in our bike club started December 1, and we used to open same time RAGBRAI opened on November 15th. But our financial people decided having money in 2 different fiscal years was more work for them. So we just decided to wait till after December 1st this year to open our registration.
But the nice thing is if you're a rider who is going to go no matter what, it is part of your July 2026. Now you have the option to, well, of course you get registered for RAGBRAI, but you have the option to just secure your spot right now.
Yes, right, because we are capping it this year. So if for us it'd be wonderful it came back to Davenport, but if it doesn't come back to the Quad Cities, we'll refund the money if they've signed up. So there's really no, they're not going to lose out on any money if they sign up now.
Sure.
And means we're capping it. When I said 200, I think we're capping ours at this year. That's Argo. So Riverbend probably is going to have 50, 75 people, and we're going to have 100, 125 people. So once we get that filled up, the 50th anniversary, we had too many people. Too long a lines at the showers. We're not set up for that many people. So that would be the only reason that's one of the reasons you'd want to sign up early is when those are up, we'll close registrations.
Sure. The episode with Jonathan and talking about Argo, I will put that in the show notes. So if anybody is just curious about more of the specific logistics of camping, you can check out his episode.
We used to do it all on our own. And Jonathan's been a godsend. He does it quite well. His whole family comes on RAGBRAI. It's just a wonderful experience. It's like you're part of his family.
That's awesome. Yep. And side note, you talked about RAGBRAI for rookies, and Just Go Bike Podcast will be there. So we'll be talking a little bit about the podcast, about RAGBRAI. I think we'll probably be talking about our interpretation of how to pack for RAGBRAI. So it's a fun gathering. So I would highly encourage if anybody's in the area of the Quad Cities. And do you know the date yet?
Yes, I sent you a flyer, I think, on it. Saturday, February 21st.
Okay.
1:30 to 4 p.m. It's at Davenport Public Library's Eastern Avenue branch. So it's quite a nice little facility there.
Cool. Well, any other sponsors or websites or anything that you want to plug before we end?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything. You did a great job.
And tell us the website one more time.
QCBC.org.
And is that where you can go for both charter and for just if you want to be part of your club?
Yes, you can do everything there. You can register for Tom Robb once it opens. our tailwind rides, everything is on that website. So, and the calendar is there. Most things we have dates set, like RAGBRAI for rookies, and I think the date's been set for Tomrov even, maybe. I can't guarantee that, but so if you need to plan, you can look on our calendar and see when the events are set up. The criterion we have is Memorial Day weekend every year if you're into bike racing. But they have a deal where I think the first day of like Saturday, it's in Burlington, and then on Sunday, it's in Muscatine, and then they come to Davenport on Monday, Memorial Day. So it's a lot of professional racers. It's really very fun to go to that as well. And we basically do all the logistics. Volunteers from our club man the checkpoints and set up the partitions, put up the signs. We have a lot of sponsors for that. So it's a great thing if you're into racing.
Excellent. Well, Roger, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And it's pretty cool to know somebody who is part of a charter that's been around as long as RAGBRAI.
Yes. Yep. We're the only one. I think I did ask the RAGBRAI people that, and I think we're the only charter. We actually had a member that had been on all the rides, but he passed away 5 years ago.
Well, Roger, thank you so much, and I'll see you in February.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Well, listeners, that is it for today. We want to thank you for tuning in to listen to the Just Go Bike podcast. If you would like to contact Murph and AP with a comment about the podcast, or maybe even you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and watch our intros on YouTube. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan. That is going to do it for this week. Until next time,
Just go bike!
theme song by Ryan Steer, logo by Suzanne Milosevic, produced by Kathy Murphy, social media by Andrea Parrott, intro by Pumpkin. Until next time, just go bike.